Are you tired of sending out cold emails to professors without getting responses? Or you are someone who is just getting started in your study abroad process and you are considering sending out emails to professors? Regardless of the position or category that you find yourself, you are in the right place. My name is Shegun Elude and you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is the first time that you're coming across this channel is focused on sharing insights and relevant tips that will help you on your study abroad process, especially to schools in the United States for getting admissions and scholarship. So make sure to like, share, and don't forget to subscribe and check out other videos that I have made and that I will keep making to help you in this line. Now let's get right into it. First, what are cold emails? Cold emails are basically emails that you send out in this context to professors to indicate interest, in working in their research lab, especially if the program that you are trying to apply to is research related. However, many people have had, issues like, not getting responses or getting rejected. I mean, you are sending a cold email, and what really makes it cold is because it is to somebody that you have no primary contact with before. So whatsoever your communication style is with this person, will give them an impression, of the kind of person that you are. And that is why writing a code email is not just something that you go ahead and copy someone else's draft, or whatever you see online and send it. It requires skill, and it's not just about like getting samples that you can just re-edit for yourself, but there are ways that you can go about it. There are things that you can learn on how to go about it that is going to really help you to write code emails, regardless of the program you're studying, whether it is STEM or non-STEM, regardless of the research interest. And that is what I really want to help you to achieve in this video. And I know that there are so many things that have been taught out there, around code emails, and there are even some that I know also myself. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to make reference to what a professor in the US taught me years ago when I was trying to send out code emails to schools. And he replied an email that I had sent trying to find out if they had fellowships or scholarships in their department, and he was gracious enough to actually explain to me. He recommended that I reach out to professors, and he was gracious enough to explain to me on how best to send these code emails in a way that it can be effective and I can get responses. 5 things from the things that he taught me in that email, and I'm going to share some of those things with you as this video continue on the things that he taught me in that email. So let's get into it. So there are basically 5 things, and I believe that if you understand these 5 things, it's going to help you to be able to put together an effective and a strong code email that will definitely get you a response from any professor, regardless of the program, regardless of the research interest. Now let's get right into it. Now the first thing that he said is talking about how to find the professors in those schools, right? How to find the professors in the schools. Now, in different universities, by the time you get to their website, I think the very first issue that many people find is that they don't even know where to locate the professors that they might want to work with. Especially in the US, they are called faculty, by the way. So he explained to me in that email, and I'm just going to read it out to you. So he said each department has a web page, and this is true for many schools in the United States. Each department has a web page that includes a faculty listing with links to professor web pages. So that means that school that you're trying to apply to, you want to go ahead to the website of the program. I think an easy way that you can try to do this is to simply just go to Google and just search and say faculty listing of the Department of, let's say, computing in the University of Georgia, if that's for example the school they are trying to apply to. This will show you the links to different web pages, and I'm definitely sure that one of them is going to be the page that links to the list of professors. So your responsibility now is that you want to look for that professor, that has the research interest that aligns with yours, that you might be willing to work with. And after you communicated this, the next line of thought are things I now began to teach me on how to write a good email. And that is going to lead me to the second thing. The second thing is researching on the professor. So I'm going to read in his words. So he said, I would also make it clear that you have done your research on the professor. Commenting on their recent research publication is always a good idea. Think about it this way. You want to reach out to somebody and you want to like, you need their help, something like that, because in this relationship of you and the professor, you are the one who wants to be a part of what the professor is already doing. I mean, the professor is most probably okay in himself. He most probably already have a research lab and he has been on this research for years, right? And there are so many students, right, that would also be interested in working with him. So your aim now is to stand out as a candidate that you can consider to work with him in his lab. But it just doesn't feel right that you are going to a professor and all you are talking about is yourself. I think one of the things that I would like to highlight is that when you're writing a code email, it is first not about you. Yes, you want something. Yes, you desire to work with this person. Yes, you might have some experience, which is good. But the first thing is that you must remember that you have to you are the one that is showing an interest to work with somebody. So you have to show that you have a background knowledge and a real interest in what they are doing, rather. Now, the best way to do that is to make a research on that professor. How do you do this? So if you find the name of a professor on that web page, as I already said, you can simply go to different research platforms. A good example is Google Scholar, right? And search the name of that professor, right? And when you search the name of the professor, it's going to bring out some of the publications that the professor has done. So you can look at the most recent one, as this professor explained to me. Look at the most recent one. You can quickly read up the article, or maybe sometimes just even the abstract. See if it aligns with what you are trying to do. Read through it and see if it aligns to you, and then communicate it, talk about it in that email. Oh, sir, I saw your publication on so and so. I specifically like the methodology in which you use. It's something that I am really interested in, something like that. So let them know that you have done your homework. Yeah, you have done your homework about their research. You have done your homework about this research lab that you want to work with. It's just the same way you want to apply to an organization. Like, the simplest thing you want to do is to read up on the organization, what their vision and mission is. So that's just the same way. Read about the interest of this person, check out their publication, at least like their 3 most recent publications. Read up on it real quick and then talk about it. Let that be like your first point of conversation. Then the next thing that he said is that do not make the discussion. He said, I would recommend not to discuss funding in the first email. This can be off-putting to professors. They may view the priority as funding rather than a passion for research. You see, and then he added that if a good fit is established between you and a professor, the conversation will usually naturally move toward funding. And that's just the truth. Like, in most cases, actually, I've never seen one, but that does not lead to funding. But in most cases, if a professor is getting you into his research lab, many times it automatically means they are definitely going to be funding you, as a research assistant. So don't make the conversation first about the funding. I understand you are an international student, you are looking for funding, which is fine. But the money does not just come to you for free. It comes because you are contributing something to this research lab. So communicate like your passion for that research interest, right? Communicate your passion for that research interest. Don't just go straight ahead and say, I am actually looking for funding. I'm actually looking for funding. I need money, something like that. That can be off-putting, just like this professor mentioned in the email, right? So talk first about like your passion for that research interest, like your genuine passion for what they are doing, how it has been something you have been looking forward to contributing to, how it is going to be a great opportunity for you because this is something, you possibly have a background in, and in fact, you have been following, this is, and that is why it's even good to like do your background, your homework on this person, and if possible, it might have been even been that maybe you have cited their work at some point, or maybe someone you look up to have cited their work, and you have been following, and to be a great opportunity to work in their research lab, and talking about how it aligns with your something you have been wanting to do, or just anything that just shows that passion and willingness to really work with them, right? And the next thing, which I think is also in this direction, is that you want to talk about your skills. So he said in your email to the professor, make it clear what skills you have that may contribute to their research lab. So now that you have done your research, you have talked about your research, and you have shown your passion. Now, the next line of thought should now be how you talk about the skills, right? This is where you talk about, the technical skills, that is in alignment with that area of research that you possess, the practical skills that you possess in that area. If you have done some research work in that area, if you have done some research work in that area, so you want to talk about it. If you have done some research work in that area, you want to talk about it, right? Focus on those skills that you have. If you have possibly even written some articles, like just basically to show your writing capacity, you might also want to like highlight that. Like that is very, very important. So you want to highlight that, right? And that's like the next thing. And then lastly, which is the final one here, and this really goes without saying, is the fact that make sure that the email is grammatically correct, right? Make sure that the email is grammatically correct. So he said, lastly, do make sure that your email is grammatically correct and well written. He said that I would advise having someone else read it before you send the email, right? Most professors will not respond to an email that is poorly written. For some reasons that might not be known to you, for some unintentional reasons, there might just be some wrong spellings or punctuations or whatever it might be. I mean, there are several writing tools that are on different writing platforms that you are using to put together your content, that you can use to do spell checks, grammatical correctness. And even if you have done all of those, still try to get at least one person to proofread that code email for you, and that is really going to work, because you don't want to have done all of the works doing your research about the professor, talking about your skills, and then eventually you have written something that is not grammatically correct. Like that is like the most basic thing that you have to have put in place, and to not be so good to send something that is not well written to a professor that you are willing to work with, especially because you are even coming to do research, which of course involves a lot of writing. So that is, your email is even a little form of you showing your writing ability, right? So it's very, very important that you pay attention to that. So those are the 5 things that I learned, and I'm just going to read out to you, and most probably show you also, like in the video, as you're watching the video, what like a sample email looks like that follows this kind of line of thought that I have explained. And I'm just going to like read that out, a sample email that follows this. So you want to go like, so your subject can be something like interest in research on whatever name. So let's use an example of something around AI, right? Explainable AI and potential collaboration, right? And then you go like, dear professor, check the person's name, right? Just talk about their name, and then it says, I hope this email finds you well. And the next line, remember, you have done your research. I recently came across your paper talk about the title of the paper, and I was deeply impressed by your innovative approach to integrating. So this is talking about the methodology that was used here, like I said, to integrating transparency into high-performing neural networks. Your work on explainable AI aligns closely with my academic and research interests, especially your exploration of counterfactual reasoning and interpretable model design. Right, that the paragraph talks about you commending the work of the person and then showing your passion, as I said. Now the next line, the next paragraph says, as someone with a background in computer science, now you are talking about your skills. I have been actively involved in several AI related projects. So you talk about those projects there and then the techniques that you have used, right? So that you have talked about your skills, your background. Then the next, of course, directly talk about your interest. Again, I am planning to apply for the fall, whatever year intake of the MSc or PhD program in, mention the name of the department in the university. And I am very interested in the possibility of contributing to your research group. Not I am looking for funding. I am interested in contributing to your research group, and I believe that my skills coupled with my interest is responsible and explainable AI could complement the ongoing work in your lab. And then lastly, you can just say something like, if you are open to it, you would appreciate the opportunity to discuss how you might be able to contribute to the research, and you understand that his time is valuable, and appreciate in advance, and then just close the email. So it's that straightforward, right? Remember, if you forget anything from this video, remember that when you're trying to write the code email, it is not just about you. It is about that research lab that you want to contribute to. So it's not just about being desperate to look for funding. It's more about what you want to contribute and how you appreciate what is already being done, right? So you want to show skills, you want to show interest, you want to show passion, and you want to show that you have done your homework of learning about what is going on here and establishing how it aligns with yours and your willingness to work with them. So any professors, even if eventually they are not going to be able to accept you, into the lab just because maybe their labs are already filled up, they will definitely, respond to you politely, right? Respond to you politely, and who knows, they might even recommend you to maybe a friend of theirs that might have a research lab doing something that is similar, right? But remember that this code email is going to be your first impression to somebody who you have never met before, and you have to do it well with skills, right? I hope this video helped you. Don't forget to check other videos that I have relating to tips and insights on study abroad application process, especially to the US. Do well to share, to like, to subscribe, and I believe this helps you. Thank you so much.